The Tinderbox. Left, right, left, right. A soldier came marching down the road. He was returning from the war and was on his way home. Along the way, he met an old witch. "Good morning, soldier. Would you like to be rich?" she said. "Yes, very much," replied the soldier. "Do you see that hollow tree?" said the witch. "Climb deep down inside it, and you will find 3 rooms, each with a dog guarding a chest filled with coins. In the first room is a dog with eyes as big as teacups. He guards a chest filled with copper coins. In the second room is a dog with eyes as big as mill wheels. He guards a chest filled with silver coins. In the third room is a dog with eyes as big as round towers. He guards a chest filled with gold coins." Then the witch gave the soldier her apron. "Do not be afraid of the dogs," she said. "Sit them down on my apron, and they will not hurt you. You can take as much as you can carry the copper, silver, and gold." "What would you like for yourself?" asked the soldier. "I would like you to bring me an old tinderbox that my grandmother left there," replied the witch. Then the soldier tied a rope around the waist and put the apron in his pocket. The witch, who was stronger than you might imagine, lowered him down into the tree. At the bottom of the tree, the soldier found that everything was exactly as the witch had described. The dogs were indeed very scary to look at, but one after another he lifted them up and placed them on the witch's apron, where they sat as quietly and gently as lambs. The soldier quickly filled his backpack, pockets, and boots with bronze, silver, and gold coins. Then he called to the witch to pull him up out of the tree. "Do you have the tinderbox?" cried the witch. The soldier had to admit that he had completely forgotten about the tinderbox and hurried back to get it. Satisfied that the soldier now had her tinderbox, the old witch pulled the soldier up out of the hollow tree, and very soon he found himself standing on the road again. "Well, now you have your money," said the witch. "Please give me my tinderbox." "First, tell me why you need this little box," replied the soldier. "I will not say," screamed the witch. "Give it to me at once." "I will not," cried the soldier, raising his sword. "Be off with you." Seeing that the soldier was going to kill her, the witch climbed on her broom and flew away. The soldier took his treasure and went to a nearby city, where he began to live in an extravagant fashion. Someone told him about the king, who kept his daughter as a prisoner in his castle, because a wizard had predicted that one day she would marry a simple soldier. And of course, the king did not want that to happen. A day or two later, the soldier, who was now dressed in fine clothes, was passing by the castle when he saw the princess sitting at a high window. Whoa! She was very beautiful, and he fell in love with her immediately. The soldier led a merry life. His money flowed away like water, and before he knew it, he was once again a pauper. He moved to a miserable, dark, tiny attic, and because he was now so poor, no one came to see him. One evening, when he did not even have a match to light a candle, he remembered about the tinderbox. As soon as he struck a spark from the flint in the box, the dog with eyes like teacups ran into the room, saying, "What is your command?" "Bring me some money," cried the soldier. Then the dog ran out of the room and returned in an instant with a bag of copper coins.
Oh!
What a wonderful tinderbox! If the soldier struck it twice, the dog with silver coins came. 3 times, and the dog with gold coins came. Again, the soldier became rich, and for some time he was happy. But one day, he remembered the poor princess imprisoned in the castle. He struck the flint in the tinderbox once, and the dog with eyes as big as teacups appeared. "I know that it's late, but please bring the princess to me," said the soldier. After a while, the dog returned with the beautiful sleeping princess on his back. The soldier gently kissed the princess's cheek, and the dog took her back to the castle. The next day at breakfast, the princess told her mother of her dream of how she had ridden on the back of a big dog and how a soldier had kissed her. The queen was alarmed and wondered if it was just a dream. That night, she took a pair of scissors and a piece of silk and made a bag with a small hole in it. She filled the bag with flour and tied it to the princess's nightgown. In the evening, the dog came and carried the princess away. As the dog ran, the flour spilled out of the bag, leaving a white trail all the way to the soldier's house. The royal guard followed the trail, arrested the soldier, and put him in prison, there to wait for the execution, which was to take place the next day. All night long, the soldier sat in his cell, wondering how to escape. The dogs could not help him because he had left the tinderbox at home. The next morning, he looked out through the bars and saw a young shoemaker who was passing by. "Please help me," cried the soldier, offering the boy a pair of gold coins. "Bring me my tinderbox." The boy had never seen that kind of money. He ran as fast as he could to the soldier's house and quickly returned with a little box. Soon the jailers came and took the soldier out into the square, where he was to be executed. Then the soldier struck the flint in the tinderbox 6 times, and immediately all 3 dogs appeared. They looked so fierce that the entire royal guard took to its heels. Even the king and queen ran away, and neither they nor the dogs were ever seen again. The princess and the soldier were married and lived happily ever after. The Shepherdess and the Chimney Sweep. Long ago, the porcelain figurines of a shepherdess and a chimney sweep stood side by side on a mantelpiece. They stood very close to each other because they were in love. Nearby was the porcelain figure of an old Chinaman who could nod his head. He claimed to be the shepherdess's grandfather and that he had complete control over her. One day, the strange carving standing in the glass-fronted cabinet next to the fireplace asked the Chinaman's permission to marry the shepherdess. The carving was known as Billy Goat's Legs and was so ugly that the shepherdess was frightened of him. Nevertheless, the Chinaman nodded his head in consent to the marriage.
Oh no!
The shepherdess was very upset and begged the chimney sweep to help her escape into the world. That night, they both descended from the fireplace and crept quietly across the room to the stove.
"We can get out through the chimney,"
whispered the chimney sweep. Unfortunately, as they climbed into the stove door creaked and woke up the Chinaman. "Stop them!" he shouted, shaking with anger. After a long, arduous climb, the two sweethearts reached the top of the chimney and sat on the edge. Above them, hundreds of stars twinkled in the sky, and below they could see the roofs of the city.
"Oh dear,"
wailed the shepherdess.
"The world is far too big. I wish we were back on the mantelpiece."
The chimney sweep tried to reason with her, but she sobbed so much that he finally agreed to take her back. With great difficulty, they climbed back down the chimney. Then, peeping from the stove door, they looked around the room. They saw that the Chinaman lay broken on the floor. He had shaken so much with rage that he had fallen from the mantelpiece.
"Oh, he's in pieces, and it's all my fault,"
sobbed the shepherdess. "Don't worry," said the chimney sweep. "I am sure that he can be mended." The chimney sweep was right. The Chinaman was put together again and looked almost as good as new, except for the rivet in his neck. When Billy Goat's Legs asked him once more for permission to marry the shepherdess, the sweethearts were afraid that he would nod his consent again. However, because of the rivet, he could not move his head, but was ashamed to admit it. So the shepherdess and the chimney sweep stayed together and were very happy.